Well, the Vikings were eliminated last week, but look at the crowd. No lethargy among the Viking fans as they have packed this beautiful new stadium. And a tremendous testimony to the Minnesota Vikings. John Fox leading the Bears, been a head coach since 2002, and Mike Zimmer, he has had a rough year, including his own personal struggles with eye surgery. So both of these coaches would love to go into the offseason with a victory. And Cordero Patterson, and it may be just a formality before he captures his third kickoff return title in the NFL. No one has ever done that, and he is way ahead in his effort to wrap it up today. He has been tremendous all season, including 5 in his career. And there is Patterson returning the opening kickoff for the Vikings, and he brings it out just about to the 30-yard line. The Bears, by the way, did win the toss and decided to defer, so that's why the Vikings get the ball first. And Sam Bradford coming out. And Sam Bradford, despite, he said, very few shining moments after the first 5 games, he's one of them. And on the brink of an NFL record for completion percentage, he has had a tremendous year. 1st and 10 on the 30 to start the game. And the running back is Matt Asiata, picks up 3 yards, and will send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, Adrian Peterson injured and inactive today for the season finale, but it remains to be seen, are these his final days in purple and gold? He is under contract for 2017, but the Vikings could release him to free up $18 million in cap space or re-sign him to a restructured deal. Talked to him before kickoff, and for the first time all year, ready to talk about the future. He told me, I'd be lying to you if I told you I haven't thought about it, but it's a business. I understand the money I'm owed, but I'd love to finish my career here.
Thank you, Christina. On 2nd down and 8, and the first pass is a completion to the running back Asiata. Peterson, who will be 32 in March, played in only 3 games this season. And taking a look at the Vikings offensive team, and they are last in the league in rushing yards, and even when they were 5-0, they couldn't run the ball.
And we have to watch that up front. The center, Joe Berger, is now at left guard, taking place of Alex Boone, and Nick Easton is the starting center. But Adam Thielen, what a season he has had this year. 40 yards away from a 1,000-yard season, which would be the first in Sidney Rice in 09.
8 different offensive line combinations, and that's a recipe for not making the playoffs for sure. 3rd down and 3. Bradford with the quick pass, and it'll be caught for the first down by Kyle Rudolph, having his best year by far, and a Minnesota first down. The Bears defense, and it hasn't been that bad, but only 10 takeaways, the worst of the league and the worst in team history.
Sam Acho will be starting at that outside linebacker with Pernell McPhee and Leonard Floyd out. But the player we have to watch is Akeem Hicks. He has been an absolute terror on the inside. And the last time that they played the Vikings, he had 2 sacks and 4 hurries and completely disrupted the right side of the offensive line.
Simply could not block that man. And a 1st and 10. Jarek McKinnon has come in at running back. And Bradford has 4 wide receivers, including McKinnon. And Bradford with time and going deep to Patterson, who makes the reception inside the 25. 4th on the team with a couple of touchdowns coming in. And Cordero Patterson with a 39-yard catch, and the Vikings threaten.
We just talked about the offensive line up front. You're going to see that they're going to run games with their defensive line. They try running twist, punch, and pass it off. Sam Bradford has enough time to go through his progressions. And at the top of the screen, who do you see? One-on-one. Cordero Patterson gets that one-on-one against Cre'Von LeBlanc and takes advantage.
Here is McKinnon, and McKinnon picks up about 4 yards on 1st down. Stephon Diggs, who is the leading receiver for the Vikings, inactive today.
And Cordero Patterson is going to get a lot of opportunities today with Stephon Diggs out of the lineup, and we know him for his speed and his return ability. Now he will be able to showcase who he is as a wide receiver.
One of the things the Vikings were banking on, David, was the speed of McKinnon and Patterson when the season started. That never really materialized. 2nd down and 6. In the red zone is Bradford and the Vikings. Nowhere to go, and he swings it out to McKinnon. McKinnon racing for the end zone, diving in, and touchdown. That didn't take long, did it?
All plays will be reviewed, but they're going to check, see his feet, and if he got in, if he extended and got the ball passed, ball's in bounds. That is a clear touchdown. Unbelievable start for the Minnesota Vikings offense, getting down to the red zone, but what it's something that plagued them all season, self-inflicted wounds. They did not have one when they got inside.
Absolutely. 16-yard pass play, and Mike Zimmer's Vikings jump in front on the first possession of the game. And now Kai Forbath is on to try the extra point. Big play, the 39-yard pass to Patterson. That got him into the red zone to begin with, and the extra point is good, and so the Vikings reward the full house with a touchdown on the opening possession. McKinnon from Bradford.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Sam Bradford now with 18 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions. There is a scoring drive. They did it in a hurry. And McKinnon with his second TD catch of the year. 70 yards in 6 plays. Deontay Thompson back deep for the Bears, and he'll let this one bounce out of the end zone, and the Bears will start at the 25.
Let's go back to that touchdown. Watch Jerick McKinnon, his eyes. His first responsibility is Jarrell Freeman. He checks the linebacker who drops out in coverage, gets outside, is still able to chip help to TJ Clemmings, and then get out on the swing screen as the last option, and explosiveness, is able to finish the play with a touchdown and start fast, which is exactly what Pat Shurmur said this offense needed to build confidence.
The two speedsters figuring in that opening drive. Meanwhile, first down at the 25 for the Bears, and their first offensive possession is going to be a handoff to Jordan Howard. So Matt Barkley, who has thrown 8 interceptions in the last 2 games, not all of them his fault, but nobody likes that number next to their name. And I guess decision-making may be his #1 priority today.
And that's why they can't make sure that they get down in this football game. They've got to be able to match points for points with the Minnesota Vikings, because that's when he presses and throws those jump balls.
Second down and 7. And here is Howard, the impressive rookie, 5th-round pick from Indiana, over 1,000 yards. And getting close to the all-time rookie rushing record. As we look at the Bears offense, their problem, they just haven't scored much. 28th in the league in that department.
And talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. Cameron Meredith stepping in with White injured for the 2nd season in a row. He's had 4 100-yard games, which is the most for the Bears, and he's had 4 9-reception games, which is tied for 1st in the NFL.
And he caught a touchdown pass last week against the Redskins. It'll be 3rd down and 5. After 2 Howard runs, and they're going to give it to him again, and this time Howard's going to get a first down as he gets beyond the 40-yard line before Eric Kendricks brings him down. A gain of 12 for Jordan Howard, who's carried on the first 3 plays from scrimmage for Chicago.
Well, he's coming back where he just left off in that last game where they played in Halloween. He had 153 yards rushing in that one, and that was the emphasis that the Vikings said, that we cannot let him get started. Sure enough, here we go. Jordan Howard continuing to move forward with the play that he's had all season, testing the edges right now of the Minnesota Vikings team.
Goes to the sidelines, and Braylon Addison, who was just signed last week, was in the game as a receiver, and this pass is going to be caught by Addison, and he goes out of bounds and may have a first down. The Vikings defensive team, and 4th overall, but keep in mind that they have given up 72 points in back-to-back losses the past 2 games.
Inside, the nose tackle, Linval Joseph, is overworked and underappreciated. As a nose tackle, he has 93 tackles on the season, and with 5 more, he will pass Kevin Williams for the most since '04.
First down in Bears territory, and here is Howard again. Howard coming in needing 61 yards to break the franchise rookie rushing record set by Matt Forte in 2008, and he gets 5 more, and I guess they want to give him the ball all the way till he gets the 61 right here to start the game.
And as an offensive lineman, you love blocking for a player like Jordan Howard. If he sees a hole, he puts his foot in the ground and goes north and south, but his patience and his vision to know where to go and bounce it, where he did just on this last play, is what has gotten him over 1,000 yards this season.
2nd down and 5. And this time it's an end around to Joshua Bellamy. First down for Bellamy as he charges inside or right at the 20-yard line in the red zone now. So the Bears coming right back. Trey Waynes making the play, knocking him out of bounds, but a 22-yard play on the first one, not handled by Jordan Howard.
They're doing an unbelievable job of setting these things up with the play action. They ran some fake end arounds earlier, but this time they were able to do it. The backside defensive end crashes down and leaves that wide opening for Bellamy, and look at the blocking he had downfield.
Michael Pruitt, the former Viking, the tight end, was there. Now they go back to Howard, trying to go left, and Howard picks up good yardage, very nearly 5 yards on the play. And so the Bears trying to come back on their possession here to tie the game up. 4 yards for Howard, so he already has 26 yards in this first quarter, averaging over 5 yards a clip.
And the Bears are showing something that they have struggled with this season, is getting the ball to the edges. Today, getting pullers out in front and not only going in between the tackles.
Play action. Forte intercepted. Interception by Xavier Rhodes, going to his first Pro Bowl and his 5th interception of the season, and another one thrown by Matt Barkley as the Bears were threatening to tie it up. Here is the pick on the pass intended for Jeffrey.
Is sponsored by Bud Light. Strike gold and you can win Super Bowl tickets for life.
David, you said at the outset the Vikings haven't been getting those takeaways, and coming into this game only 6 in the last 9 games. A timely one there, and they will start from the 4-yard line. Matt Asiata, the running back. Thielen lining up to the left, and the pass going out to the right side to Jarius Wright, and Wright is knocked out of bounds.
We're going to go back to that interception. You see Deontay Thompson and Alshon Jeffrey running post corner. You know, as a quarterback, you have got to get that football to the back pylon in order for the receiver to be the only one to go up and get it. Underthrown, Xavier Rhodes is able just to sit on the inside of it with the help over the top.
5 interceptions for Rhodes, amongst the league leaders. Now the Vikings have a 2nd down and 6. Bradford has time, goes underneath and gets the first down, going to the reliable tight end, Kyle Rudolph, 2nd leading receiver on this team this year. Rudolph is having a tremendous year. He's been healthy the last 2 campaigns, and 15 yards getting the Vikings out of trouble, and a first down at the 23.
That's his 2nd catch of the day, and he is 6 receptions away for the most receptions in a single season in franchise history for the Minnesota Vikings. And from day one, he has been Sam Bradford's security blanket.
First down, and here is Asiata, head down, picking up a few yards, and time for our first game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. Opening drive. Patriots looking to lock up that #1 seed in the AFC. This helps. Brady play action to Martellus Bennett for this 2-yard score. They're up 7-0. Back to Dick, David, and Christina.
Well, last year the Patriots lost to the Dolphins and failed to get home field advantage throughout. Denver got it, beat the Patriots, and then won the Super Bowl. So New England doesn't want to make that mistake again. And they have that lead. 2nd down and 6 for Bradford on the 27. And Bradford getting out to Asiata, who has the first down, and more, getting away with elusive play and gets big yardage there. But before Harold Jones-Corte makes the play and a pickup of 17.
And this goes once again back to Sam Bradford's poise in the pocket. This is a player that's been injured. He's been hit throughout his career, but what does he do? He steps up and is still able to deliver this football the way it needs to with this offensive line, who has both tackles who started on injured reserve.
17-yard pickup. Getting away from the pass rush and a first down. McKinnon has checked in now at running back. Goes out as a receiver. Bradford once again gets away from a defender, will run it and get a first down, and now will go out of bounds close to the 30-yard line. Sam Acho, who is starting in this game in place of Pernell McPhee for the Bears, giving chase and a gain of 24 yards for Bradford and another first down in Chicago territory.
Great job by Sam Bradford once again using his legs, seeing an opening and being able to convert to a first down. But they have got to help the right tackle right now. Jeremiah Searles is having issues. He just had a pressure against Willie Young, now Sam Acho. If they want to extend and be able to stay on track with this offense, they've got to help him out with chip help.
Bradford already with 100 yards and a perfect day, but will hand off to McKinnon. So Bradford 7 for 7 and a handoff. And, well, let's take a look at the Vikings. Hopes high this year, despite the major injuries to Teddy Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson. They started out 5-0 behind the new quarterback, Sam Bradford, but even more injuries occurred. Norv Turner then resigned as offensive coordinator, and they lost 4 in a row in 8 of their last 10, and that stretch knocked the Vikings out of the postseason for the 3rd time in the last 4 years.
34, 50 Mike.
There's Teddy Bridgewater, and of course coming back from that devastating knee injury, and the question is, how will he be when camp starts next year? They can't really count on him for sure yet, as Asiata picks up a couple. C.J. Wilson, the Bears' nose tackle, made the stop at the 25-yard line after the 4-yard pickup. So Bridgewater gets hurt right before the season starts, and the trade is made getting Bradford from the Eagles for a number 1. And of course you can say, well, they didn't make the playoffs, but at 5-0 everyone thought that was a genius of a deal, and I personally think it was a great move for the Vikings to make.
Well, it was one that they needed to make in order to have any opportunity to compete in this division. And you figure they had all starters coming back on the defensive side of the ball.
3rd down and 3, and movement in the line, and it'll be against the Bears, and it will give the Vikings a first down. Terry McCauley, the referee.
False start. Offense number 8. 5-yard penalty.
Well, they call it on Bradford. Crowd doesn't think so.
Well, you know, you're going to go on a hard count. You know it's a 3rd and short and 3rd and manageable opportunity. But anytime you see any motion like that, they're going to get that because the defensive end is keying off of it, and any movement by the quarterback, anything herky-jerky, pointing anything, or that abrupt hut with the hands.
So it's 3rd and 8 instead of a first down, and now the pass is caught, and it should be in a first down for sure here as Wright with his 2nd catch of the game, and the Vikings get it anyway despite the false start. They gain 9 yards. And T.J. Clemmings.
That would not be good for this offensive line, who is injured and hurt already this entire season.
They have had ravaged injuries to that OL.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks, America's longest-lasting pickups. By Sprint. Visit Sprint.com. Switch and save today. And by the $10 any pizza carryout deal, only at Pizza Hut.
Well, after that injury timeout, we're not in the snow, we're under a roof. And now Rashad Hill, number 69, is at left tackle, the 12th offensive lineman to play for Minnesota this year. Handoff is to McKinnon, and McKinnon bounces off a defender and gets close to the 15 before Jarrell Freeman makes the tackle. There's the injured T.J. Clemmings. And of course the original left tackle, as we know, was Matt Khalil, and then Jake Long came in. Trouble.
And you think you come into a season with a possible of a max 8 on your active roster with 2 practice squad guys, so that I've never been through any situation where you've had to play 12 in a season.
2nd down and 4, and here's McKinnon driving for the first down, and he gets inside the 10-yard line. Vikings threaten. Don't forget they're trying to capitalize on that interception thrown by Barkley, and a pickup of 8 yards for McKinnon, who leads the team in rushing, coming into this game with a mere 450 yards. That's not a big total for the leader. And
we talked about efficiency on 1st and 2nd down. They've had it in both of these drives, and even with that last penalty they had on 3rd down, they were still in a 3rd and manageable where they had 9 yards instead of 12 to 13 where they have been in.
11th play of the drive, and looked like McKinnon just fell down after picking up 1 yard. McKinnon's best game was against the Giants when he gained 85 yards earlier in the year. Nick Kwiatkowski came in a linebacker spot when Danny Trevathan got hurt. Or we can go over the Bears injuries too on that side of the ball, and we'd be talking forever.
19 on IR on this season for the Chicago Bears roster.
Second down and goal at the 6. Matt Asiata is in the game, and he is brought down and will lose a yard on the play thanks to Akeem Hicks, who you pinpointed early on, and we have the final 30 seconds here of this first quarter.
He was completely unblocked on the backside, and then a play where you're having a pulling guard, that tackle has got to stab that 3 technique for the center to be able to come back and block on him. Unable to do that, he's able to penetrate quickly and make a tackle for a loss.
And that's going to be the last play of the quarter. That is the end of the first here in Minneapolis with the score. The Vikings 7 and the Bears nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We begin the second quarter. David Deal, Christina Pink, and yours truly, Dick Stockton. Happy New Year. Once again, it'll be 3rd and goal for the Vikings on the 7-yard line of the Bears. Scored on their first possession of the game on a Bradford pass to Jerick McKinnon. McKinnon split wide left here, number 21. And there is the stutter count. Last time when it looked
97, unimpeded the quarterback.
Last time when it looked like the Bears were offside, they called a false start on Bradford, but this one, without question, is on Willie Young.
Clearly trying to get a jump on the cadence and get after it, being able to force some pressure on Sam Bradford and trying to come away with another takeaway here.
So now the ball is on the 3, still 3rd and goal. And this time McKinnon lines up next to Bradford in the backfield. Bradford, quick pass, and incomplete off the hands of Rudolph. Normally reliable hands for Rudolph, did not make that play, and that'll bring up 4th down, so the Bears do hold, and a field goal try coming up for the Vikings.
Good stop by the Bears defense, overcoming that last penalty and giving their offense an opportunity to get back out on the football field.
Horvath missed an extra point against the Green Bay Packers, but he's perfect in the field goal department. This will be a 21-yarder, looking to extend the Minnesota lead, and the kick is good. So Kai Forbath with a 21-yard field goal, and the Vikings capitalize on a Bear turnover and take a 10-0 lead. John Fox says the Bears are closer than people think, and the Bear fans say we're ready to be shown. It's been a tough season for the Bears. They've had to use 3 different starting quarterbacks extensively this season, and so the offense has struggled. A bright spot, however, has been the rookie running back Jordan Howard, who entered play today 7th in the league in rushing, but at 3-12, the Bears are trying to avoid winning fewer than 4 games in a 16-game season for the first time in their history.
Well, they have a foundation with the 2016 draft class that GM Ryan Pace and John Fox put together. You think about Cody Whitehair starting at 16th, Jordan Howard, Leonard Floyd. On the defensive side of the ball, Nick Kwiatkowski has shown some flashes.
Cam Meredith back to the offense.
Cameron Meredith on the offensive side of the ball. So these players out here on the field today are going to be playing for the future of their jobs and for this organization. It's their last dress rehearsal.
Well, if the Bears lose, they would have the 3rd pick in the draft. If they win, they could drop as far as 5th. And, of course, I don't know any player that says, you know, I'm going to play today so we get a better draft pick.
That is definitely not the case.
There's Howard. And he's a keeper for sure. Jeremy Langford is the running back here, and will get the handoff on 1st down. And he picks up a couple. Langford was the starter when the season began, had a high ankle sprain and came out, but he's had a terrific attitude, and that's been a plus for the team. He gets 4 yards.
And he is a very good stretch zone runner. He has the speed to hit the edges. It'll be interesting to see how the Bears offense continue to play, and if offensive coordinator Darryl Logans does something that he hasn't done when they've been down. They can go hurry up. That's when Matt Barkley has been at his best this season, and they don't have to wait till the second half.
Pitch goes to Langford off the right side, and a fumble, loose ball, and the Vikings may have it. They do. The recovery is made by Anthony Harris, making his third start in this his second year, and so the Bears have turned it over again the second time in their own territory. And the Vikings can add to their lead as Langford fumbles at the end of the carry.
We talked about this coming into this football game. That one just came out of his hands himself. I mean, there was some contact to his body, but you have to hold that ball high and tight. That's only friendly fire by McCoyle Pruitt trying to block for him, but you have to get your opportunity. You know what Jordan Howard did when he came in as a starter, not losing his job, and this was your opportunity to show and showcase that you deserve to get back in that starting role.
So the Vikings will have the ball on the Bears 35.
Set. 120. 120.
Matt Asiata and a play fake. Bradford getting the rush, but the pass is caught by Kyle Rudolph. And Rudolph, who dropped what could have been a touchdown pass at the end of that last drive, Vikings settled for a field goal, picks up the first down to the 23 here.
We talked about this in the game coming in, about the takeaways and how much it has meant to this football team and this offense, especially when they were struggling in that stretch after the 5 straight wins. When they lose those takeaways on the defensive side of the ball, this offense has been unable to consistently march down the field and put points on.
From the 22, a first down.
120. 120.
Asiata gets hit immediately by Kwiatkowski. Good play by the linebacker. And for another game break, here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. Well, the Patriots have lost the last 3 times they played in Miami, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case today, at least so far. Already up 7-0. Brady finds his newest target, Michael Floyd. They are up 14-0 at the end of the first. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right, Carissa. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs as the 6th seed in the AFC, and that's a tremendous achievement for them. Second down and 10.
Set. 120.
Rhett Ellison in motion to the left. And here is Bradford getting time, and the pass is caught by Rudolph. Breaks the tackle, gets the touchdown. That's 22 yards to the tight end. 7th touchdown to lead the receivers this year, and Bradford wants the ball. And why not? 19 touchdown passes, only 4 interceptions, and he's only thrown 1 incompletion so far in this game.
Something that Kyle Rudolph has done tremendous throughout his entire career, especially as a tight end. When you have a 6'6" frame and can work down the seams and make moves like he did to get open on this touchdown and then finish the play with the run after catch, I mean, this is exactly what you look for in an offense and in a tight end to help out in the run game.
Question whether Rudolph crossed the goal line. The ball was kind of behind him, and the knee close, very close there. Was the knee down before the ball crossed the plane? That's the issue.
That's a touchdown. Ball clears.
Yes, it was. You're right. So here's Forbath. Early here in the second quarter. Forbath with the kick, and it's good. And the Vikings have taken now a 17-0 lead. Harris with the big fumble recovery. Here is the scoring drive, and they're taking advantage of 2 Bears turnovers.
And here's the touchdown. Let's go back to the replay. You're going to see him lined up right here at the tight end position. But look at the cushion that Harold Jones-Quartey gives him. He's dropping back. You see Sam Acho thinks that he has safety help. But when you give Kyle Rudolph that much room in the red zone, and then you don't close and get a tackle on him, Harold Jones-Quartey, that's what allows him to break through and get the touchdown and advance them to where now this game at 17-0 is getting out of hand.
Meanwhile, Rudolph, with his 29th career touchdown reception, is the most by any Minnesota tight end, as the Bears now in a 17-0 hole. So a banner day for Rudolph who's had a banner season.
Is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Back here in Minneapolis, and Kyle Rudolph setting the franchise record for most touchdowns by a tight end. In fact, the only incompletion thrown by Bradford so far today was the drop by Rudolph.
180.
Meanwhile, the Bears trying to get back in it, and false start.
Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But I tell you, the Bears are not putting their best foot forward. That's a huge understatement, but they're really not even involved in this game. I know they've gained some yards, but the turnovers, a penalty like that, after being trailing 17-0, not good.
And of all things, if you're Bobby Masson, you're looking at Daniil Hunter, who has 12 sacks on the season across from you. The last thing you want to be in is a 3rd and long.
There is Howard. And you know the Vikings are going to say, look, we're going to make Matt Barkley beat us. He's already thrown an interception, and he's got 9 in the last 3 games. So we want to stop the running back, Howard. Picked up 4 on first down. 2nd down and 11. Alshon Jeffrey to the bottom of your picture, and he's shadowed by Xavier Rhodes. Here's Howard. Keeps churning and gets it out to the 30-yard line before Anthony Barr makes the tackle. A gain of 6. 3rd and 5. Matt Barkley wasn't even on the roster when camp started. He was signed to the practice squad in the beginning of September. Jay Cutler and Brian Hoyer went down with injuries. So it's 3rd down and 5 with Barkley. 3rd NFL team for him. Gets some time here and overthrows, and I'm not sure who is his intended target there. Alshon Jeffrey seemed to be the closest to it. And 4th down coming up.
You got a little bit of pressure on them, but that is your opportunity to make a throw. You see up front, they get the movement, they run straight for it, and at the end, you get some pressure late. But look at Alshon Jeffrey has his opportunity. You see Rhodes playing. He gets open, but sure enough, does not hit him and throws it in between 2 receivers.
Pat O'Donnell punting, and Marcus Sherrills is deep. Vikings with a pair of outstanding return men. Here is Sherrills at the 21. Sherrills finding an opening. Good run down the sideline. Marcus Sherrills into Chicago territory and going out of bounds. Already with 2 touchdowns as a punt returner to go along with Cordero Patterson. And a 48-yard kick and a terrific return by Sherrills of 36. You'd have to say Sam Bradford off to a good start. 10 of 11 completions and trying to nail down the highest completion percentage in NFL history. Drew Brees, his name is stamped on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Just a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. Vikings have scored on all 3 of their possessions so far. Play action and the pass thrown underneath to Rudolph. And Rudolph hard to bring down up to the 36.
And you said it started off 10 of 11 and now 11 of 12 with that last one. But early getting it to Cordell Patterson on the outside. Here's a swing screen touchdown for Jerick McKinnon. You see, this is the touchdown now to Kyle Rudolph. And what else do you see? His pocket poise, him stepping up, delivering it accurately, and not letting any of the pressure that the Bears defense have had on him affect the way that he's playing today.
And they've averaged 5 yards a rush, which is a lot better than they've done all year. Here is McKinnon, and they're going to have that number drop a little bit as he's knocked back for a loss of 2 by C.J. Wilson. Vikings leading 17-0, coming in having lost 8 of their last 10. The Bears, meanwhile, have dropped 9 of their last 11. Isaac Frickday, who played his college ball at the University of Minnesota, was just signed on Friday. There he is, number 15, has come in the game. So they are looking at some players. A couple of pump fakes for Bradford being chased down. And this pass incomplete, trying to get it to Rudolph on a bounce with Kwiatkowski downfield.
We got Minnesota in the outside, Minnesota State on the inside. Nice job by the Bears defense coverage, being able to cover everybody up. Nowhere for Sam Bradford to try going with the football, trying to get it out late, but underthrows it. And very nice stop by the Bears defense.
And you know, the Bears defense, what they need now is something they haven't been able to get, a takeaway. I mean, 10 takeaways, worst ever for them. And last year they only had 17, which was the lowest in their history. Fourth down, and Jeff Locke. Fair catch called for and made at the 15 by Braylon Addison. So the Bears finally stopped the Vikings. See what they could do themselves.
This game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back here in Minneapolis, the Bears finally hold the Vikings. And the total yard story says it all in a 17-0 lead. And a first down on the 15 for Chicago. Jordan Howard is the tailback. And they go with Howard. Doesn't need much of a hole and breaks a few tackles and gets a first down. Great run by Howard there. Another game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. Well, we thought we'd see Tony Romo, and we did on his first drive of the game. Success. Tony Romo completing this 3-yard pass to Terrence Williams. In fact, his first touchdown since week 11 of 2015. Dallas is up 10-3. Dick, give him Christina.
Thank you, Carissa. Yep, it was Thanksgiving of 2015, the last time he was on the field. Already clinched home field advantage and a first down. Howard up the middle and protecting the ball nicely, picking up 9 yards. So 11 on the first carry and then 9. Cowboys will have home field advantage, and the Falcons can clinch a bye in the first week with a win later on today. Seattle has a chance there, and Green Bay will be playing the Lions for the North title later on. The Giants also have clinched a berth. The Redskins can get in with a win and a Lion loss. Second down and 1. Why stop here? Here's Howard, and he'll have enough for the first down. With 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Go to your meal ticket, right?
Absolutely. And the one thing that you love about Jordan Howard, he is always going north and south. And when we talked to Josh Sitton, the left guard, he said, I don't think I saw an entire play this year where he went backward and was not falling forward.
By the way, he's a first alternate for the Pro Bowl in his rookie season, and didn't start till the 4th game of the season.
Go, 5-4.
Little wildcat here.
They go to Addison on the Wildcat. Addison trying to get around the corner and doesn't do a bad job of it. Picks up a few, and a flag is down. Haven't had many penalties in this game.
Holding. Offense number 82.
And it'll be Logan Paulson, the tight end, called for holding, to the disgust of John Fox. America's fastest growing sports show is on FS1.
Tomorrow, we debate all of today's NFL action and look ahead to the playoffs.
And I'll tell you who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Leave the predictions to the expert. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
Ball goes back to the 32, where it'll be first down and 16. And Jordan Howard comes back in the game after that Wildcat got 4 yards before the penalty. And there is Barkley, and his pass is caught at the 42-yard line. And the first catch of the game by Cam Meredith, who is the Bears' leading receiver and has looked awfully good. And like Howard, he's a keeper without question.
He really is, and we're watching Jordan Howard because he is about to set another Bears franchise record. With 2 more yards, he will eclipse Matt Forte's single-season record of 1,238 yards.
I'm betting on it.
I think he will.
Second down and 6 from the 42 for the Bears. And they give it now to Howard, and he's going to get that rookie record and a lot more as he charges his way into the Viking territory to the 41-yard line. So Howard breaks Matt Forte's rookie rushing record set in 2008 and did it with 17 yards here.
And you look at the way that they're running the ball. They're getting pullers. They're getting inside zones, getting to the second level. And when they tried to do something with the Wildcat to change things up, it worked, but their own penalty hurt them and put them back.
And here's Langford getting a chance, fumbled in his last carry, and gets upended as he picks up about 4 yards. There it is again. Jordan Howard setting the rookie record over Matt Forte. A couple of guys on the bottom weren't too bad either, right?
No, and when you look at those numbers, you just shake your head because you think of their careers and you think, wow, I would have expected them to have more their first year.
Howard's averaged it's about 7 yards a carry so far in this one. Second down and 6. And Langford again following his blocks, but doesn't get much. Maybe a yard is all. And Linval Joseph, who you pointed out when we looked at the Viking defensive group, overlooked often as a run defender, but not by you.
No, he was a former teammate of mine in New York, and he is pound for pound, without a doubt, the strongest football player I've ever played with in my 11-year career. I remember our offensive line coach be like, hey, you need to get him on one leg and double teams. He'd be like, good luck with that. You try to do that, coach.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's 3rd and 6 for the Bears. They finally get an opportunity, down 17-0. Matt Barkley gets some time, and the pass is incomplete. Double covered was Deontay Thompson by Trey Waynes, who got a piece of it, but there were other Vikings around as well. So now it is 4th down, and they're going to go for it.
See him on the outside, and this is something that Trey Waynes has been able to do when he gets those opportunities. Early on, he always struggled because he always wanted to play press and get those hands in there. But you could see clean break on the football, and what did he do? He didn't break on an angle, flat down the line.
Well, when you're 3 and 12 and you have a 4th down and 6 on the 37 of the opposition, no question. And here is the pass, and it is caught, and it's enough for the first down to Meredith. Smart enough to make sure he got beyond the sticks where he made the catch. Captain Munnerly was defending, and an 8-yard gain, and the Bears on 4th down convert and have a first down.
Working the shallow crossing route and is able to find that opening one-on-one and get that conversion on a 4th and 6. And like you said, they had nothing to lose going for it.
And there is an injured player, and it's Xavier Rhodes for the Vikings, so we'll take a timeout.
This game is sponsored by Mobile Strike. Download right now, free from the App Store.
Tell you one thing, the people on the sideline protect our Christina Pink, and we're going to show you why right here. Good agility. You okay, Christina? She said, yes, ma'am, I'm fine. Handoff is to Howard, and Howard pushing the pile, getting inside the 25-yard line on first down. Bears are 3 and 12, and they're looking to avoid a finish of 3 and 13, which would be the worst record in franchise history since they adopted the 16-game schedule in 1978. Of course, they're winless on the road as well. 2nd down and 5.
120!
Howard, and he gets another first down. What a terrific runner, and as everyone on the Bears will tell you, quiet man, doesn't say much in meetings and during the week in practice, lets his play do the talking for him.
Without a doubt, because he is physical. He is always turning his legs, pressing forward. But one of the things that he always does is before he gets into that pile of bodies, he always tucks away and secures that football.
He's gained at least 77 yards in the last 8 games, and he's over that right now. And a first down on the 18 for Chicago, trying to get back in it, and there's the way to do it. And another first down for Jordan Howard, putting on a show. Longest run was on the 3rd snap of the first meeting between these teams as a flag is down.
Offense number 71, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So Josh Sitton, the left guard, holding, and that may be why Howard had that hole to run.
He hooks him. He gets his left arm hooked. You saw inside the little block by Daniel Brown coming inside and setting the edge. But you see the hook, that left arm, right here on the linebacker on Eric Kendricks.
And it was. Why Howard could get free. He comes out of the game, and Jeremy Langford will come in, as will Joshua Bellamy. The first down and 15. And both Bellamy and Jeffrey wide to the left. Now Bellamy moves. Play action. And on the screen pass, it's Langford. And Langford inside the 10 and runs in to Jeffrey and a Viking defender. And Anthony Barr helped push him out of bounds after the 19-yard run. And the Bears have a 1st and goal, trailing by 17 here.
Great job getting the offensive lineman in front, but who did we talk about? The center, Cody Whitehair, is able to get out, gets out into the screen and gets a nice clean-up block and a pancake on Eric Kendricks to open that up.
Tell you, this Bears offensive line has done a good job this year, considering everything.
They sure have. Because you really think about it, Matt Barkley has not been really sacked and abused this year.
1st and goal on the 4, and here is Langford cutting that in half to 2. As we get close to the 2-minute warning, Brian Robinson was there to make the tackle. Question of some of the future of some of these Vikings, and you'd have to consider Robinson, the veteran who has 7 sacks this year, being among the question marks. So 2 minutes remain now in the first half. The Bears threaten, and Zimmer's team is up 17-0. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remain in the first half. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line.
They just brought in a 2 tight end set, and Matt McCants, number 68, the backup tackle, as the jumbo for the goal line package.
And it's Jordan Howard. And Howard will make it 3rd down and goal from about the 2. It was Emmanuel Lemur as well as Anthony Barr.
30-second timeout.
And a timeout called by the Vikings, knowing that no matter what happens here, they want to have enough time when they get the ball back.
Great job by the goal line defense, the defensive line up front. You did not see that line of scrimmage move whatsoever.
Jeremy Langford will check in now for the Bears.
Well, this week we know that Jordan Howard has been dealing with an illness, and we can't really show it on TV, but he's gone to the garbage can a couple times here in the first half.
There's Howard, who has gained 93 of the 130 yards that the Bears have amassed. Pretty good total here, but Langford is in there right now as a receiver. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Now lining up behind Barkley, and a direct snap. And here's going to be a pass all alone for the touchdown. Cam Meredith throws the touchdown pass to Barkley. So a little trickery there. And Barkley with the touchdown reception, and Cam Meredith, who's a quarterback in his first 2 years at Illinois State, with the easy pass for the Bear touchdown here.
And great sell by Matt Barkley and Langford, because they know what they're running. They're trying to sell everything. You see him bringing them into motion. Great play design and very nice deception in order to score that touchdown.
Direct snap to Langford, to Howard, to Barkley. Kind of unusual, but the Bears finally score with 1:48 remaining, and first touchdown catch for Barkley. We're not shocked at that. And Connor Barth on for the extra point to cut the Viking lead to 10. And the kick is perfect, and it's now 17-7. 17 drive play Here it is again, 85 yards with a touchdown pass. Meredith to Barkley, and the Bears finally score in this game. And there's the scoring drive once again, and the first career touchdown throw by Meredith and the first TD catch by Barkley. And with minute 48 remaining in the first half, the Bears make it a 10-point game. Well, once again, Happy New Year to all of you. And the Vikings have 2 timeouts left. And we know the Bears will get the ball starting the third quarter.
After deferring after winning the coin toss, but nice play by the Bears and by offense coordinator Dowell Loggins, doing something to change up. We saw earlier the Wildcat work, but what happened? They had a holding call to bring it back. This time they were able to do it down in the goal line and come away with the touchdown to stop the bleeding.
Kick out of the end zone. 17-7 our score, so we have the Visa halftime coming up shortly, and let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up at the Visa halftime, the Patriots head down to Miami trying to wrap up home field advantage. The Browns try to knock off the Steelers, and the Bills ring in the new year without Rex Ryan. It's all coming up at the Visa halftime.
That's tune. You think?
No, Terry, that was last night.
I would say they have a little bit of fun when they're on that show.
A little bit, indeed. Bradford from the 25 swings it out to McKinnon. Good fake he puts on the defender, and close to the first down, being pushed out of bounds.
Speaking of celebrating New Year's, we caught a shot of you, Dick Stockton, celebrating with the cool shades on, sitting up here, taking it in before the game.
You know, I have problems seeing with that. You know, those numbers kind of block my view.
You got to remember, when you're up here, you're always on camera.
I know that. I should have known that. Pass is caught by Jarius Wright. Third reception of the game for Wright. And the Vikings have a first down at the 40 as the clock stops with 1:37 to go in the first half. It's never too late to celebrate New Year's Eve.
No, it is not. Very excited about the new year and excited to call this last game here with you, Dick Stockton.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We worked a lot last year, worked all of last year, and now we finished again this year. It's a pleasure for me as well, and for these two teams, and especially the attitude, as you mentioned in the beginning, about what it was like for you. You got 2 Super Bowl rings, but it was games like this that really helped you get there.
Yeah, you really test the adversity and the character of a football team and players in general. So, you know, a lot of times people remember when you're wearing a Super Bowl ring or won Super Bowls, but they forget the things that you had to fight through and the teammates you brought along with you along the way in order to win those.
Second down and 10 at the 40. Vikings looking for points before intermission. Bradford can't find a receiver downfield and will take off himself. A flag goes down, and Bradford would slide close to the first down in midfield.
Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty.
But Jeremiah Searles, the right tackle, called for holding, will nullify that run by Bradford. Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, and of course taking over for Norv Turner, who abruptly resigned in the 9th week of the year. He's the interim and wants to keep his post.
He's doing a very nice job thus far during the first half with what he's been dialing up on the offensive side of the ball.
Now second down and 20. 4-man rush on Bradford. And Bradford gets hit as he lets it go and nearly picked off. It was a short hop to Harold Jones-Corte, and it'll be incomplete. Pressure by Akeem Hicks once again. Game break time. Here is Carissa. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Tony Romo had 1 series and 1 touchdown for Mark Sanchez. His first series ended like that, intercepted by Jordan Hicks. Dallas is still up 10-3 with just a few minutes left in the second quarter. Dick?
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. And as she reported earlier, Tony Romo making his first appearance since Thanksgiving Day of last year. Right here will be third down and 20 for Minnesota. 1:16 on the clock, and the Bears will call their first timeout.
Chicago. 30-second timeout.
So now the Bears could be looking at getting the ball back and maybe getting something done before halftime on their own.
And then getting the ball to start the second half. So this is a battlefield position. They've got to stop them on this third down, obviously. But with 2 timeouts left in this quarter, the Bears could have an opportunity offensively to put some points on the board.
Again, the Visa halftime coming up next. Patriots trying to wrap up home field advantage. The Texans trying to get their 11th straight divisional win, and the Ravens looking for a sweep against the Cincinnati Bengals in a divisional fight in the AFC North there. All coming up. So now each team with 2 timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 20. Bradford's pass is caught but knocked out of bounds is Rudolph by Freeman. In the AFC, of course, the Raiders are going to have to go without their quarterback Carr. That's going to be a big blow. Pittsburgh has wrapped up the 3rd seed, I believe, and they will play the Dolphins probably in the first round of the playoffs.
This is why you love December and getting ready for this playoff football. Now we are starting the new year, and I love watching these games, and I love watching the game that we have right in front of us as well.
Jeff Locke will be kicking to Braylon Addison. Addison coming up, and the ball bounces off of him and is picked up by the Vikings, but does he have possession? And the Vikings do. Anthony Harris, who recovered a fumble earlier by Langford, was right there. Addison did not call for the fair catch, and Jaron Kearse makes the recovery official, and another turnover gives the Vikings a big chance.
The receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. 1st down.
But this is what we have to see. If Anthony Harris is inbounds, does anything touch when that ball is in and he is out of bounds? Is that going to be a dead ball right there? We shall see.
He's definitely out of bounds.
The previous play is under review.
And John Fox shaking his head. He's been doing a lot of that other than in that scoring drive by the Bears just a few moments ago. So it was Anthony Harris trying to keep the ball in or recover it himself. And then Kearse, he was in bounds when he recovered it.
Here's the best look.
Remember, it has to be indisputable to overturn the ruling that it was recovered by the Vikings.
It's a close one. It's hard to see if that body's really up, or the ball is really up against his body, or if it's rolling off.
It's a tough call, you're right.
It's a very tough call.
Because he had touched the ball when he was out of bounds, and then he was in when the ball was loose for Kearse to do it. Mike Pereira, what do you see here? Tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. By the way, what's not tough is wishing you guys a happy new year. But this is one where they're just going to have to look is, was the ball touched when he was actually out of bounds? It almost looks to us the closest he comes to touching it is when it touches his posterior. And if it in fact does, then you just have simply a kick out of bounds, and the ball would be out of bounds at that spot. You know, I think it does. Is it enough to 100% prove that it does hit him? You know, I'm not sure really that it does enough. So it's definitely recovered inbounds by the other player. So our notion here is that it might stand.
And Happy New Year to you, Mike. And the good word posterior, you could have used a lot of other words, but I'm glad you used that one.
Might be the first time I've ever used it, as a matter of fact.
That's right. So Terry McCauley.
They're definitely taking a good look at it.
They are. Checking with the guys in New York, and here comes McCauley.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down, Minnesota.
So they really didn't have any indisputable evidence to change this initial call.
And there's the inbound recovery.
Kearse makes it. Harris set it up. And so once again.
And how quickly did it turn from us saying the Bears may have an opportunity with 2 timeouts left and time on the clock?
And now the Vikings on the 21. Jerick McKinnon picks up a yard, and good interior defense that time by Sam Acho, who's got a lot of experience starting, as we said, for McPhee today, mostly with Arizona. In his 6th season is Sam Acho. 2nd down and 8. Clock running. Nearly a half a minute to go in the first half, and the pass bobbled and dropped by Jarius Wright. And it was Quartet again who made sure he wasn't going to hold on, provided the hit. So with 31 seconds to go in the half, it's 3rd down and 8.
You see Jarrell Freeman on the inside running too, but look at the hit that Harold Jones-Quartet puts on it to really separate and make sure that he can't catch them. And Jarrell Freeman, talk about a year he had. He missed some games, but this is his 4th straight 100-yard or 100-plus tackle season.
Leads the team in tackles, even though he misses 4 games with a suspension. So it's now 3rd down and 8. Vikings are in field goal range. Bradford with a lot of time, and this pass is going to be ruled a catch and a first down. Let's see.
Second.
And a timeout called by the Vikings inside the 10. So Rudolph with an 11-yard reception. And it'll be 1st and goal, and Minnesota now left with 1 timeout left with under a half a minute to go.
People were wondering if that was going to be reviewed, but it was a clear catch. You see his hands get underneath the football.
Rudolph's 7th reception of the game. He has a touchdown as well. All-time leading touchdown receiver for a tight end in Viking history. But you're right, David, we're talking about the Bears perhaps getting in position, knowing they had the ball in the second half first, to cut that 10-point lead. And then, of course, that old bugaboo, the turnover. They're not getting any themselves, but they're sure committing them. McKinnon, the running back, split wide left on 1st and goal.
And watch Adam Thielen is who they like to target here down in the red zone.
And they do, and ridden out of bounds at the 2-yard line by Rhodes, or check that, Quartet. Right on it with Thielen. That's the first time he's been targeted all day today. Came in needing 40 yards to reach the 1,000 mark.
He's running the out. McKinnon gets the up, and you see it clear, but he can't turn around. Nice tackle and force out of bounds by Quartet, not letting him get into the end zone.
21 seconds left. Great year for Adam Thielen. Practically the walk-on that they have. And here is the rollout in the pass. Touchdown, Jarius Wright. Touchdown pass. Bradford to Wright, and boy, Minnesota sure taking advantage of every opportunity they have when the Bears turn it over. So Sam Bradford now with 20 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions. And when we talk about having his best year ever, that's one of the big points for that. Kai Forbath is on for the extra point. And so the Vikings, who had their lead cut to 10, now extended again.
Great call by Pat Shurmur, because you see Jonathan Banks trying to fight and get all the way through there through traffic. They're unable to communicate it all the way through. They're not able to cover up. Jarius Wright on the shallow crossing. We also call that a submarine route. Sometimes you see receivers get the jet sweep in that same motion. This time they're able to get it on a pass and able to come away with a key touchdown right before the half.
Well, as disappointing as it's been for the Vikings, who have lost 8 of their last 10 after winning 5 straight. Pat Shurmur's offense taking advantage of those turnovers, and a 17-0 edge. So it's 24-7 now. Minnesota leading with 18 seconds remaining in the first half. 21 yards and 5 plays for the Vikings. And Addison is deep for Chicago. Deontay Thompson goes back as well to about the 5-yard line. So twin returners. And here is Thompson. He's going to run it out. Thompson straight ahead. Thompson. And finally knocked out of bounds after a terrific run by Isaac Fritte. Deontay Thompson with the return and good field position, and with 9 seconds to go, they got another chance perhaps.
Showing that clocked 4.3 speed right here. You see him take it down the middle wedge. Nice job up front by the blockers, and what was he? Fearless. He got right downhill, saw the seam, and took it. A lot of times you see a lot of these returners, they see it but think it's going to close and try bouncing it. This time he trusted the blockers up in front.
64-yard on the return. That's the longest this year. And just in case, they've got Connor Barth waiting in the wings. 9 seconds to go and a first down on the 42-yard line of the Vikings. Matt Barkley fires, and it is caught by Cam Meredith, and a timeout called with 2 seconds to go. And how alert was Meredith on his back to signal for the timeout before time expired. And a terrific pass thrown by Matt Barkley with Anthony Barr on his practically on his back, and a 31-yard pass.
You see him on the inside here, and you're going to see Captain Munnerlyn come up. But what does he do? That little double move. He gets Munnerlyn on the inside. He can't flip his hips to the outside. And Cameron Meredith showing that catch ring, being able to go up and get it at the high point.
And if he hadn't called a timeout there, I think the first half would have expired. And a field goal try. So Meredith with a big catch. And the Bears trying to get 3 back. Connor Barth is on. This will be a 29-yarder. And Connor Barth. The field goal is good, so the Bears get some points back. No flags down as time has run out. That is the end of the first half, with the Vikings leading the Bears 24-10. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report, which starts now. First half moments are brought to you by Febreze. That was first half moments brought to you by Febreze. Getting ready for the third quarter, the Vikings lead the Bears 24-10. 17 of their points coming off of turnovers, but we had 2 scores with 21 seconds left in the first half in a hurry.
And that's the biggest thing for the Chicago Bears. They can't have the turnovers this second half of the game. Offensively, we've seen Jordan Howard featured, which we thought that would happen. Cameron Meredith making some big catches for them offensively. But Matt Barkley has got to get Alshon Jeffrey involved in this football game here in the second half. He does not have a catch, and this could be his last game in a Bears uniform.
Down by Deontay Thompson. See what Christina Pink has found out.
Hey, thank you, Dick. Talked to Mike Zimmer at halftime, and he liked what he saw offensively. He said the pass protection's been great, but he also said he didn't like the fact that they weren't able to run the ball. He said we have to run it better. Defensively, they are +3 in turnovers, but he said we are not stopping the run worth a lick. I asked him, how do you slow down Jordan Howard? He said, well, we're misaligned on a lot of these runs. As for John Fox, he thought they had some momentum going into the half after that big Meredith catch and field goal, but he said we have to stop beating ourselves. But as for Howard, he said he is a load to bring down.
Boy, it's beating a drum to say we got to stop beating ourselves, and the Bears can't help that, as Howard on the first play will pick up a first down, stays on his feet. He's putting on a great exhibition today, and Howard going over 100 yards, brought down finally by Anthony Harris, the safety. Howard with a tremendous rushing game. 93 yards. No, 111 now. He has 111 yards, his 7th 100-yard production game this year. Play fake to Howard. Barkley going to the outside, completes it to Jeffrey, and I believe he has the first down. Let's see where the forward progress is started. Rhodes, who was hurt earlier, was covering on the play. So Howard had now with 111 yards, averaging nearly 7 yards a carry, and the first Bears rookie to get 100 yards rushing 7 times in a season. So the beat goes on for him.
You know, like we said, getting Alshon Jeffrey involved, obviously the first catch of the second half, but have to give the Bears a lot of credit, not only running in between the tackles, but they're setting the edge on those outside sweeps with their pullers.
There's Howard once again. Harris brings him down after a 5-yard pickup.
And Everson Griffin, head coach Mike Zimmer talked about it defensively, stopping the run. They've had a problem with lane discipline and gap control, and you see it showing up today up against this Bears offense.
Bears are averaging nearly 6.5 yards per carry.
Hey, 5-4.
And that's not going to get it done for the Viking defense. 2nd down and 5 on the 42 of Minnesota. Here's Howard again, finds a little opening, and will get another first down. Jordan Howard. And having a marvelous year for a team that has had some great running backs. Attended UAB, set a school season rushing record, transferred to Indiana, and continued his outstanding play in 2015. Drafted by the Bears, and next to Ezekiel Elliott is the top rookie running back in the league, and getting a well-deserved breather here. Langford will come in for him, and it's a first down on the 36, and a false start penalty against the Bears.
Charles Leno Jr., the left tackle.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, it's not like the Bears are not moving the ball. I mean, the turnovers are killing them, and they could, without that, maybe be in front of this game. Who knows?
Exactly. But when you put those in, that's where they are right now in this football game. And right there, you see Matt Barkley trying to manipulate the snap count to get some type of edge so that this defensive line doesn't get a jump on it. But sure enough, in the first half, we had a false start by the right tackle. And now, here starting the second half, we have it on the left.
Barkley has thrown an interception, has also caught a touchdown pass today. First down and 15, play action, and there's the pressure, and the pass is going to be caught by Langford. And despite Eric Kendricks finally reaching Barkley, coming in untouched, Matt Barkley alertly getting it out to Langford, who picks up 12.
And it was the perfect time to dial up a screen. Sure enough, they block it. Langford doesn't even touch it because he knows he's going out on the screen. Kendricks is able to get the big hit, but Matt Barkley being able to deliver it, and you see Whitehair sitting out there lead blocking.
2 big hulks in front of Langford there.
And those two have done a great job. Like I said, on those outside sweeps, they have been the pullers to really open things up for Jordan Howard.
Barkley's numbers have been a lot better, haven't they? And here's Langford again, breaks the tackle, and will have a first down close to the 20-yard line. Game break time, and once again, here's Carissa Thompson.
Big Six Bucks needing a win and a lot of help to keep their playoffs hopes alive. Second play of the second half, this helps. Brent Grimes picks off Cam Newton for this 31-yard touchdown. Tampa Bay up 10-7. Dick, David, and Christina.
Carolina trying to be the spoilers here. You know, for Tampa Bay to get into the playoffs, it's like winning the lottery.
So you're saying we have a chance? That's the only time I think anybody's ever asked for a tie in a football game.
And wins by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. I don't know. Play action for Barkley. And Barkley's pass is caught at the 20-yard line by Michael Pruitt. So the catch by Pruitt, by the way, who was a 5th-round draft pick by the Vikings last year and was signed off the practice squad by the Bears.
Smart decision by going to the underneath route to Pruitt because he had Alshon Jeffrey on the crosser, but Harrison Smith was coming downhill on a perfect angle and could have had another interception. Great check down and way to hit the underneath coverage player.
2nd down and 4. Bears trying to make the most of this first possession of this 3rd quarter. And the end around to Bellamy, and getting it right in there was Eric Kendricks. Talk about leading tackles for the 2nd straight year. He had a 77-yard touchdown on an interception in the opener against Tennessee. Really one of the stalwarts defensively for the Vikings.
And that could have been a big play for the Bears. We talked about Daniel Brown earlier making some key blocks, but sure enough, When you pull, you have to keep your eyes on your linebacker. He takes his eyes outside, and sure enough, Kendricks is able to hit it underneath for a key stop.
Loss of 5. 3rd down and 8. And Barkley's pass, and that one's going to be picked off. And interception by Trey Waynes. So the Bears bid goes for naught once again, and the second interception and the 4th turnover by the Bears in this game on the pass intended for Meredith, and the Vikings get the ball back. We'll return.
This game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. And by T-Mobile. Switch to the network built for unlimited data.
Well, the Bears have turned it over for the 4th time in this game, and Matt Barkley now with 10 interceptions in the last 3 games, both in the red zone, just when it looked like the Bears may do something. A couple of fumbles on top of that, and the Vikings begin from the 11-yard line, and a mix-up in the backfield, but Bradford recovers, gets it out to right, and picks up 2 yards.
We'll go back and take a look at that interception, and believe me, it was a clear holding call on Trey Waynes. He has Cameron Meredith completely locked up. You're going to see it coming at the top of the screen here. He's got his hands all over him, but still with that, you don't throw the football. You know that there is an opportunity and a chance that they may not call it. They haven't called a single pass interference on either side of the ball in this football game. So right after, I know Matt Barkley throws up his hands looking for the flag, but you can't rely on that for that penalty.
Decision making, that's the key for any quarterback. And here is McKinnon. And McKinnon gets it out for a couple of yards. And that will bring up a 3rd down. In case you joined us late, Adrian Peterson, who played in 3 games this year, inactive once again with a knee and groin. And the question is, could this be it for Peterson? Either as a player in the league or with the Vikings. Stephon Diggs also inactive today as far as the offense goes. 3rd down and 5. From the 16. Sam Bradford's pass caught by Rudolph, and the tight end setting team records today. Gets a 1st down shy of the 30-yard line, and a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 96. Contact to the head.
And Akeem Hicks
penalty, automatic 1st down.
called for roughing the passer. 12-yard reception and roughing the passer tacked on.
See him right here working up against the right guard, Brandon Fusco. You see him pushing all of a sudden at the end. Ball's out. You see the hit and the pull down at the end. Clear call. You know that the officials are going to protect the quarterback.
So now the ball is out to the 43. And look at the Vikings have 3 receivers all split wide left. At the bottom of your picture, they run the ball to McKinnon, breaking a tackle, and McKinnon picking up a couple.
And here are the turnovers that created 17 points for this Minnesota team. That led to a field goal. Here is a fumble. There's the touchdown off of it. Kyle Rudolph finishing the football play, and here it is. This was the one that was right before half that was reviewed. Minnesota gets the ball and ends up with the Jarius Wright touchdown to close the 1st half.
And the play on the kickoff was technically a muff, but it does go as a turnover. 2nd down and 6 for Bradford. Quickly gets it out to McKinnon, and a good tackle made that time by Adrian Amos. In his 2nd year, started a lot of games, still looking for his first NFL interception.
He started all but 1 game in his 2 seasons, and he's been one of those bright spots, but he needs help next to him because Adrian Amos is a football player that is better working downhill into the box as an aggressor than he is playing back in coverage.
So a 2-yard loss because of Amos's fine play at safety. Matt Asiata, who started the game at running back, checks in now on 3rd and 8. Bradford And it is caught for the first down, and the first reception of the game for Charles Johnson.
We talk about running backs being able to run the football effectively, but look at Matt Asiata's step up on the blitz by Jarrell Freeman and completely stalemate him. Gets it, is able to dip down underneath and give Sam Bradford enough time to get the ball to the outside to Charles Johnson.
Well, the Vikings are not running the ball in this game either, but they're passing well and taking advantage of turnovers. Only 63 yards rushing and 211 yards through the air for Sam Bradford. And on first down, gets it downfield, tipped away by Harold Jones-Forte. Carissa Thompson with a game break.
Currently, the Dolphins 6th seed in the AFC, looking for a win today. Matt Moore, 25-yard touchdown pass to Kenny Stills. Now, if they get a win and a Chiefs loss later today, they move up to the 5th seed in the AFC. Texans, they would get the Texans, instead of Pittsburgh, and New England is up 20-14.
But the lead is closing, and there is Jonathan Banks, who started at cornerback today. The former Buccaneer, shaken up, will take a timeout. Jonathan Banks, who started his second game today, is on the sideline now, and Tracy Porter has replaced him. Trayvon LeBlanc is the nickel back today for the Vikings. Or for the Bears. This is the 8th play of the drive, and it's McKinnon who gets a hole and close to the first down. Jarrell Freeman grabbed a hold of his shoulder, but it's going to be close. They may spot it just a shy half a yard from the first down yardage.
Look at the combination block by Berger and the fill-in left tackle Rashad Hill. Look at, they get movement right at the point of attack, get up to the second level. Very nice job right there by the point of attack, moving the line of scrimmage, covering everybody up, and giving McKinnon the exact hole that he needed to get through.
You mentioned Berger once again playing left guard, with Nicky Easton starting at center. 8 different offensive line combinations this year. Adam Thielen going in motion on 3rd down and 1. Play fake to Asiata, and they go underneath to who else? Kyle Rudolph. It's his day, isn't it, as a receiver? And he gets the first down, picking up 3 yards, keeping it going for the Vikings. 9 receptions today for 90 yards for Kyle Rudolph in his 6th year. He had 9 touchdown catches back in 2012. Joe Sensor had the previous record, now 81 catches. So he's breaking them all today for the tight ends. 1st and 10. Bradford swings it out to Asiata, and Asiata moving corner as he runs. Pretty good job of physical play. Will end up with about 9 yards.
Tracy Porter coming in once Jonathan Banks went out, and we watched last week as we had this game. Tracy Porter, you have to give him a lot of credit because he's been fighting through with me all season, but you could see it hampered him last week and it hampered him today.
So now 2nd down and 1. Nice to have the short yardage situations. Asiata moving the pile, and he will have another first down for the Vikings.
Mike Zimmer said at halftime, we've got to do a much better job of running the football, and here they are in the second half, doing it cohesively as a group.
Adrian Peterson coming off surgery to repair right knee and groin injury suffered in his return December 18th, knee operation in September. Took 12 snaps against the Colts a couple of weeks ago, inactive last week, and of course in the season finale today. McKinnon ready for the direct snap to him on first down, and he hands off to Asiata, but that's not going to work. No gain on the play thanks to Adrian Amos.
We know that Jerick McKinnon was a college quarterback, so this isn't anything unfamiliar for him. But when we talked about Adrian Peterson, you have to talk about the future right now of this organization due to the fact of how many games he has missed these last 3 seasons.
11,000 plus yards in 10 years. Incredible career, 3 rushing titles.
But as they say in the NFL, what have you done for me lately?
And are you healthy enough to do something for me lately?
Exactly.
2nd down and 10 now. Here's McKinnon to the bottom of your picture. Bradford looking up the middle. Incomplete. Pass intended for Rudolph, and defensed well by Amos. Good series for Amos, and Jonathan Banks being taken into the locker room after that injury. One thing the Bears are going to be looking for among a lot next year or during the offseason will be speed in the secondary. And Banks had a great year back in 2013 when he had 3 interceptions in his rookie year with Tampa Bay. So this is the 14th play of the drive. How good has Bradford been on third down through the air? Needs 10 here. And it's going to be picked off by Crevon LeBlanc on the pass intended for Patterson. So the Chicago Bears with only their 11th takeaway, but that blunts the Minnesota bid right here. And the Bears will get it out on the 20 when we come back.
Game is sponsored by Burger King. Try the $3.99 Whopper Jr. deal only at BK.
And back here in Minneapolis, a full house here in this beautiful new stadium, and Cordero Patterson trying to get a touchdown, and LeBlanc had other ideas. So the Bears, after their first takeaway, seems like ages, giving the ball to Jordan Howard with 2:15 to go in the third quarter, pushed out by Kendricks.
Cordero Patterson, who's going to be an unrestricted free agent, you better fight better for this football. Sam Bradford put that exactly where it needed to be. You're 6'2", you're 5'11", Crevon LeBlanc. If you can't catch it, you make sure that you break inside, and you make sure that he does not catch that football. That is all effort, and Crevon LeBlanc wanted it more on that play than Cordero Patterson.
Meanwhile, Eric Kendricks is coming off the field, shaken up. Kendricks and Anthony Barr, both in their second year, and they're going to be fixtures for the Viking defense for years to come. LeBlanc getting congratulatory phone call there after his interception.
You hope that for the Bears defense that continues, because they need to help out this offense.
Second down and 6. And here's the handoff to Howard. Howard will get another first down. Looked like he was going to be stymied behind the line of scrimmage. Griffin brings him down after a gain of 7. What a smart runner he is. Good vision.
It was a smart job by the Bears offense. Get it to who's working for you up front, and get it to who has been your cowbell all season long.
Howard now with 133 yards on 20 carries. He had 153 against the Vikings on Halloween night when the Bears got one of their 3 victories. Clemens, by the way, or Kendricks, by the way, back in the game for Minnesota. And the handoff to Langford. And Langford picks up 3 yards. Let's check in now with Christina Pink.
Well, you guys were discussing Jordan Howard. The rookie is a man of few words, but when I talked to him before the game, I asked him, do you plan to have another big day against this Vikings defense? He said, yes, I definitely do, and we've seen that so far today. He also told me this season he's seen his biggest growth in being able to read defenses and watch film, but he's certainly been a bright spot for this Bears offense.
Yeah, maybe the brightest spot of all on this Bears team. Here's Langford trying to go right, follow some blockers. But the Vikings have other ideas, and it'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down thanks to Daniil Hunter and Kendricks, who came back quickly from going out and making the play. And that could be the last play of this third quarter.
And we have to give Bobby Massey a lot of credit. Last week he did an unbelievable job up against Ryan Kerrigan, and that's the first time that we've heard Daniil Hunter's name mentioned this entire game. Coming into it, he had 12 sacks.
Third in the league with those 12 sacks. And the Bears are not going to try to get it off, and that will do it for the third quarter. That is the end of the period with the score. Vikings 24, the Bears 10. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Here in Minneapolis, Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink. Vikings leading the Bears 24-10. It'll be third down and 2 for the Bears on their own 39. Barkley will hand it off to Howard. And I think he didn't get to the imaginary yellow line, not official at all. Boy, he's bounced off and broken tackles all day, but not that time, and it'll be 4th down for Chicago. And the Bears, who went for 4th down earlier in the game in Minnesota territory, will go for it here on 4th down on their own 40.
That was a great job at the point of attack by Everson Griffin, trying to run power, stacking the tight ends, unable for anywhere for the back to go.
And the flip goes to Howard, and here's Howard straight ahead, and close. Bears signaling he has it, but the spot may be just shy by less than a yard. And it was Xavier Rhodes who was hurt earlier. The Pro Bowl corner came back. They're going to measure here. And I'm saying they're going to be a little short of it by the naked eye.
Cameron Meredith was unable to block Everson Griffin on the down block. He was able to penetrate upfield.
And the Vikings take over on downs.
The Vikings take over on downs. That penetration made Howard to bounce outside a little bit when he wanted to hug it tighter. Big stop by the Vikings D.
All they needed was that one right here. And the Bears on 4th and a yard. Jordan Howard is stopped by Rhodes, who makes a great play. So the Vikings take over on downs on the Chicago 40 in the first minute of this 4th quarter. 1st and 10. Sam Bradford in the pocket, completes it to Rudolph. Great day for Rudolph, and he gets to the 35.
Here's the big stop. Meredith on the down block gets there, but he is unable to get his hat across. That's why you see the penetration by Everson Griffin, which makes Jordan Howard round his run instead of being able to put his foot in the ground and get upfield. But what a stop by Rhodes, and you see that his elbow and the knee were down before the first down marker.
2nd down and 5, and this pass downfield, and it's Rudolph again inside the 15. Great throw and catch. Freeman on the tackle. And the Vikings threatened right now, and for Bradford, he's well over 74% completions. Came in as the best all-time in the NFL at 71.3. So right now, if he were to leave the game, Sam Bradford would be the all-time leader in completion percentage in the NFL. He remains in the game, however, and it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 13 for the Vikings. What a game, though, for Rudolph.
And he continues to go back to the security blanket that he had when he first got to Minnesota to take over as the quarterback of this offense.
And here's Asiata changing direction. Bounces off a tackler, gets close to the 10 before Jarrell Freeman makes the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 7. So once again, Bradford, 71.6. Breeze has had the best, and he's going to go out as a wide receiver now, and a direct snap for McKinnon coming up. There is Bradford as the receiver, and here is McKinnon with the keeper. McKinnon scores for the Vikings, his 2nd touchdown.
Well, if Sam Bradford wanted to keep up his completion percentage, that's definitely the way to do it, to go out and line up as a wide receiver.
Won't hurt him. 10-yard run, and the Vikings score again.
Read option. He's going to read the defensive end. He sees that he plays down inside. He sees over the top. You see another player right here. Amos come down inside. He sees the clear lane outside, and Adam Thielen with a nice block and another touchdown. And once again, what did we talk about to start this game? Pat Shurmur calling a good football game, and as interim offensive coordinator, he is proving that he deserves the right to come back, not just because of his comfort and his background with Sam Bradford, but the way he's been able to do it this year.
Forbat adding the extra point, and here's the touchdown. And make no mistake about it, Pat Shurmur and Norv Turner, not the same play callers. This is good for the Vikings today.
Game is sponsored by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Back here in Minneapolis, where the Vikings have matched the most points they have scored in a game with 31. They had 31 against the Texans back in October in a 31-13 victory. Deontay Thompson will run it out from 5 yards in the end zone. And Thompson is tackled by J-Ron Curse. Special teams. We'll be back here in Minneapolis with the Vikings up 31-10.
This game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Happy young Viking fans on hand, and of course for Mike Zimmer, win will get them to 500, and they're up big. And Pat Shurmur, who's the interim offensive coordinator, Norv Turner suddenly resigned in the 9th week, and so Shurmur took over. And they're different coordinators, really. They didn't always have the same ideas in mind, and now it's Shurmur's job to win, to keep the job, and that's going to be an issue. I know, David, this is going to be one of the big decisions that the Vikings have to make. A first down, and Barkley's pass is going to be caught, and a first down to Daniel Brown, the tight end.
And that is a big deal, that right in front of that title, interim, because that means it's not guaranteed. And when you think about Sam Bradford, throughout his career, he's had 7 different offensive coordinators, and actually this season alone, he had 3. Starting in Philadelphia, Frank Wright under Doug Peterson, and then you look this year, Norv Turner, and then Norv Turner resigning, and Pat Shurmur taking over. So for Sam Bradford to have that much experience and that ability to come in, learn this offense, and play at a high level.
Howard will have another first down, but a flag is down at the 40-yard line. So this time they're using Jordan Howard as a receiver. And here's Terry McCauley with the ruling.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, defense number 90. Pass interference, offense number 85. The penalty's offset. First down.
So Daniel Brown and Toby Johnson on the calls. Kurt Menefee with the game break. Kurt.
But with a win, the New England Patriots wrap up the #1 seed in the AFC. Big block here, watch, by Michael Floyd. Springs Julian Edelman for the longest reception for a touchdown of his career. 77 yards. Patriots on their way, up 27-14 in Miami. Dick and David.
All right, Kurt, to the delight of Robert Kraft and his family. 1st and 10. Matt Barkley fakes once, completes it to the tight end Brown. And Brown is tackled by Captain Munnerlyn after a gain of 6 yards. So the 2 different offensive philosophies of what they had before with Turner and what this guy wants to do, Pat Shurmur.
You saw a lot more of the 3, 5, 7-step drops in Norv Turner's system, more of a drop back, but West Coast under Pat Shurmur. He knows that Sam Bradford is at his best when he's getting the ball out quick, and that's when he's at his best and most accurate as a quarterback.
2nd down and 4. And the handoff is to Howard, trying to go outside, breaks the tackle. It's not easy to bring down, may get about half a yard. Watch every 2017 NFL playoff game in HD, all data free on NFL Mobile. So David, when's the running game coming to play as far as the Vikings are concerned? They haven't had it at all.
They really haven't, and this is the least amount of rushing yards per game they've had in the franchise history. And a lot of it goes back to leaning on Adrian Peterson. They thought that he would be healthy this season to help this offense and lean on him running first.
Right now they're trying to get the defense to get the ball back on 3rd down and 3. That's if the Bears don't go for it on 4th down if they fail here. 3rd and 3. Barkley stepping up, and Barkley goes down. I think they're going to rule it down by contact, but they haven't done that yet. It's a loose ball. No signal is given, and it's going to be run in by Everson Griffin for the touchdown. And you know they're going to take a look at this one, because I'm not sure whether Barkley had his knee down before the ball left, but you got to play on. No, it came out.
That is a fumble.
It came out. It was Joseph who forced it. You've been talking about him all day, and Griffin who did the rest.
And a great job by the Vikings finishing the play. There was no whistle. You see all the Bears standing up, standing around, nobody going after the football. But Everson Griffin having alertness to go pick it up and scoop and score.
So they review the turnover, and question is, will it be the 5th one of the game by the Bears? You'll hear the roar go up. if it goes for the Vikings. Terry McCauley is out on the field, but he's acting as if, yes, it was a touchdown. The crowd would like to roar. Give the announcement. Yes, it was a touchdown by Griffin. And Kai Forbath for the extra point. That was a 20-yard fumble recovery and touchdown, and Forbath adds the extra point. Kind of anticlimactic. You wanted to hear the roar, but the Vikings will take it. This is the story of the game. This one graphic here, the Vikings with 5 takeaways into 24 points. Matt Barkley with 2 interceptions and a fumble. And it's a 38-10 lead with just under 10 minutes to go in the season for the Vikings and the Bears. Deontay Thompson on the return from the end zone for Chicago, runs into a wall and is stopped shy of the 20-yard line. That was Stephen Weatherly on the special teams tackle.
We saw this in bits and pieces when we were reviewing it, but this is the full play. See nowhere to go. Good coverage by the Vikings. Linval Joseph able to get that ball out late. Sure enough, Anthony Barr enough to hit it through, and Vikings finishing the football play. There was no whistle, and they finished that play.
That's what you're coached to do. And so frustration. This has been a rough ending to Matt Barkley's season, and David Fales has come in now to relieve him at quarterback. So Fales becomes the 4th quarterback for the Bears this year, and the handoff is to Jeremy Langford for a couple of yards. Fales in his 2nd year from San Jose State. Remember, the Bears didn't even have Matt Barkley on their roster. They signed him to a practice squad deal first week of September. They had a guy named Connor Sharp, who was injured in the 3rd preseason game. And we know about Jay Cutler and Brian Hoyer. No need to say the Bears need a quarterback. Fales completes the pass to Cam Meredith, and that will be a first down out to the 34 with Harrison Smith defending.
And obviously in this situation, what do they need to do? They're running a hurry-up offense.
12 turnovers in his last 3 games, 10 interceptions and a pair of fumbles. For the USC free agent, this one will be not caught by Bellamy. Incomplete pass and coverage by Trey Waynes. Well, Wednesday night on FS1, it's a huge college hoops Big East showdown. Josh Hart leads defending national champion and #1 ranked Villanova against number 13 Butler. The action tips off Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1. And a huge win by the Wildcats on the road at Creighton yesterday, the number 10 team.
Love watching Chris Jenkins play basketball.
That's a well-coached team, solid team, fundamental team. Well, national champions says it all, right? 2nd and 10. Handoff, Langford, maybe a yard. There's Kendricks again. So 38 points, that's the most the Vikings have scored all season. And they've done it through the air. Once again, Bradford, who's on his way to wrapping up the NFL all-time completion mark, 250 yards. They've only rushed for 87.
And it'll be interesting if the defensive coordinator George Edwards for the Vikings dials up a blitz, because they've essentially just been rushing 4. But with the new quarterback in the 3rd and 10, you want to get pressure on him.
That's what they're doing. They do, and down he goes. Brian Robinson, the final piece in that pass rushing puzzle for the Vikings, a loss of 5 and the 2nd sack for Minnesota.
See him standing up here as a inside guy, but what does he do? He continues to press. They think that they're going to twist and basically switch a stunt, but as a right guard, Ted Larson, you can't switch to nobody. You have to make sure your right tackle is into the same thing as you. Let him go free, and Robinson has a huge set.
Pat O'Donnell's kick. And is returned by Marcus Sherrills. 53-yard kick. So Robinson hopes that he's going to be part of the Viking scheme of things next year.
Is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And we're back here, and of course Sean Hill now has come in for Sam Bradford, making his third appearance, started the opener against Tennessee. Bradford was on the team but not ready to do his thing yet as McKinnon carries and gets a couple of yards on first down. So Sam Bradford now at 71.6 completion percentage, and the points are 0.6 decimals are important here in the race leading the NFL. Drew Brees has owned second, third, and fourth, and he is at 70.9. And the the New Orleans Saints will be playing later on against the Atlanta Falcons, who are trying to nail down a bye in the first round. So that's where we are.
It's great seeing those pictures of Drew Brees. He has a different haircut in each one of them for the different years.
Nice that he would pose in different hair combs for us. Hill handing off to McKinnon. Hill fell down, but it doesn't matter. McKinnon did not fall down. And it takes a village to bring down Jared McKinnon, doesn't it? And finally, Demontre Hurst does it after a huge gain that looked like a broken play with the quarterback Sean Hill falling down 36 yards for McKinnon.
Bobbled the snap, trying to get it out, just gets it right at the last minute to Jerick McKinnon, and he does the rest.
So Sean Hill in his 15th year, we mentioned, started the opener against Tennessee when Bridgewater went down. Bradford just joined the team, needed a week to get ready to take over the helm, and Hill did not make a turnover and led the Vikings to the win over Tennessee in the first game. McKinnon again off the right side, getting a couple. There is Teddy Bridgewater, and the big issue will be next year, how far along will Bridgewater be?
He's taping up like he's going in.
Yeah.
Well, when you're up 38-10, you do some stuff to occupy your time right now.
So, you know, Bradford has got to be around, you know, obviously.
He definitely has to be. Obviously, we've seen going into this football season, they were banking on Teddy Bridgewater, but that wasn't the case. They had to scramble around, make trades, and that's where now they lost their #1 pick, and now in the 2017 draft. But they're excited because they have 2 number 2s and 2 number 3s that they have, and they feel that can really fill some voids on this team.
Christina.
Well, Dick, I spoke to Bridgewater before the game, and I asked those questions. He told me the rehab and recovery has been great, but didn't want to say much after that when I asked him to detail the process. He said, my lips are sealed, but I'm hoping to surprise some people. He's been around the facility all season, still in the building, still talking to teammates. He's actually just at practice on Thursday, but obviously a guy that's still in high spirits, but hoping to come back and contribute.
He won the Ed Block Courage Award. Every team has the Ed Block Courage Award, and no one has had more than Teddy Bridgewater for sure. 3rd down and 4, and McKinnon is going to be stopped for a loss, and that was Jonathan Bullard, the 3rd-round pick from Florida, who hasn't had a chance to show much for the Bears. There'll be a loss of 3 as we wind down to 4 minutes remaining in the game. So I guess as we get down to the last 4 minutes, David, a lot of questions that have to be answered as far as not only the Vikings, who were 5-0 and will end up 8-8 on the year, but the Chicago Bears and Ryan Pace. They got a big workload ahead, don't they?
They really do, and we talked about it. Only 11 takeaways on the season, 8 of them being interceptions. You know, when you play against a Vic Fangio defense,
First charge timeout, Minnesota.
when you play up against a Vic Fangio defense, you think that you're going to be going up an aggressive team that swarm to the football and have takeaways that stem from the back end and their secondary. Because of all the injuries, because of all the different combinations that they've had to go with, they have been unable to do that.
Well, #1 priority for, the Bears has to be the quarterback. And I'm sure Matt Barkley is going to be there to compete, but they have to go find a quarterback, and there are a lot of people they can get, or you find one in the draft. They could be drafting, you know, a third.
And that is definitely where they're going to go first. They need to have that centerpiece of their offense to direct and control things. And they're excited that they have up front a rookie who just started now his 16th game of the season, Cody Whitehair.
Well, they have some pieces, so the Bears have something to build on. But, you know, the fans in Chicago have been waiting a long time to see results. And there's always pressure when you're in a city like that to get the job done and get it done as soon as possible. 4th down and 7. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for McKinnon. Akeem Hicks putting on the pressure. The Bears will take over on downs. Next, it's America's Game of the Week. Washington is in a must-win situation if they're to make the playoffs as they take on the Giants, who have already clinched a spot. The action continues next right here on Fox. Falcons get a first-round bye with the win over the Saints. That's the best way they can do it. Seattle needs help. Win at the 49ers or a loss or tie by Atlanta. The Redskins need a win by the Giants and no tie anywhere else. As we get to the final chapter here, as Jeremy Langford on a screen pass close to the first down near the 44-yard line. Let's go back to that. So if it's a non-tie with Green Bay and Detroit, which is likely, the Redskin-Giant game is so crucial to Washington, who had been in the wild card, actually one of the top slots. Seattle needs help for the bye. They're in the playoffs, and Atlanta win gives them a first-round bye. Right behind Dallas. First down and 10. Fails. Trying to get it to Deontay Thompson, incomplete, with 2:51 on the clock. You know, the way the NFC is looking right now, Dallas has been supreme all year long, but the others are so bunched together as far as record that nothing really would surprise me. What about you, David? What do you think?
Once you get into this point and into the playoffs, it's just about getting your opportunity, and records during the regular season don't matter. But I know everybody's excited to watch that NFC North game tonight between the Packers and Lions.
And a fumble by Howard, and he recovers. Well, you were in a position when the Giants just barely made the playoffs. Ended up pretty well.
Yeah, in 2007, got in as the wild card and were able to run the table, and that was a season that we had 11 wins on the road. We were the road warriors that year. So, like I said, it's just about getting your opportunity and playing your best football at the end of the season.
You have any sleeper? You know, everyone thinks, you know, Dallas is the favorite. Is there someone that you like lurking in the NFC?
Like I said, once you get in and you get those matchups, then you can talk about it. Until then.
All right, I'll ask you some other time. Pass is incomplete, intended for Cam Meredith. Hey, the Giants could do something, right?
Yes, they could. They definitely can do something. We're going to have to watch and see what takes place in Washington. But offensively, the Giants have to do a much better job running the football in the postseason.
And isn't that the name of the game for all of these teams, really, when you get to that stage?
It really is. You have to be able to control the time of possession, and you are the one who dictate the tempo of a football game so you're not one-dimensional.
Pat O'Donnell kicking, and Marcus Sherrills with the fair catch inside the 15. 2-minute warning right here.
This is the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning as Sean Hill gets set to come out for the final offensive series, perhaps, for the Minnesota Vikings in 2016 season. It's 2017, however.
This game is sponsored by Sprint. Visit Sprint.com. Switch and save today.
Back here in Minneapolis, we've had our 2-minute warning, and just a matter of time. Well, it's our time to thank our traveling crew for their efforts all season. Elisa Arden, Bob Charlap, Keith Dornellis, Tommy Skinner, Brent Cohen, Terry Swan, Alex Stevepak, Reggie Thompson. These are the names who give you the pictures and sounds. Steve Malone, Rob McCarney, Charlie Rome, John Henry, Mark Alston, Jim Cutler, Randy Suze, Bill Garrity, Evan McGuire. They're the guys up here, spotter and statistician. Chris Adams-Wall, and a special thanks to audio mixer Mark Butler, a special guy indeed. Our technical producer, Marvin Kale, and our technical director is Gabe Bell. The broadcast associate is Jason Hurd. And our associate director is Craig DeVasker. Our director, Wayne Wilson, and our producer, P.T. Navarro. Been around a long time, guys. Pleasure to be with a great crew. And thanks to you, David Deal.
Thank you, Mr. Stockton, and looking forward to watch this games later today in this postseason, to say the least.
Final minute, and here are the Vikings saluting the crowd. They're going to finish 8-8. Disappointment after being eliminated last week, I should say, but the fans giving them a standing ovation. These are great fans here in the upper Midwest.
You see Kyle Rudolph hugging Chad Greenway, the longtime linebacker who may be retiring after this season.
Good chance. Greenway has been terrific. Today, Rudolph had 11 catches, 117 yards. Great game for him. Howard, in a losing cause, had 135 yards on the ground. Bradford may win the all-time completion mark as the Vikings beat the Bears 38-10. The Bears finish with the worst record in their franchise history since they've gone to 16 games. So for David Deal and Christina Pink, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from Minneapolis. Now let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.